the workshop, so we should work. All of you open your notebooks, keep pen ready, and we should make this is like interactive classroom. And they don't need mic, so they can listen. No? Otherwise, those back now we can try to come front here, so that we can able to adjust without mic. Like to come front? Can come front? Fine, no problem. So let's start the session. We came to know yesterday you had one session on the basics of the cloud computing, right? So right now what we do that we don't waste much time in teaching the theory. Theory everybody knows. Cloud computing everybody knows now. So the same thing that I used to do for some 3-4 years back. So I used to start from the beginning, teach them all the basics, right? So then come to the understanding, then after that we used to say that okay, time is next, let's go for the practicals. Now the time is not to waste time in the theory, so it's more like doing some programming and hands-on session, and which is required for you because I hope all of you mostly maybe third or final year. Yes? So it should be final year? All are final years? Yes, sir. This row also? Yes, sir. No third years? Okay. So it's good, so all are final years. So by this time you know all the technologies also, including networks, databases, programming, right? So we did not have to spend much time on that. So let's start up I'll spend less time on the theory part. In fact, I thought like I'll spend 1 hour for theory. Right now I'll just some more compress it and make it to 45 minutes, right? So our agenda we'll be closing the theory by 11:30. So as much as possible. So then 11:30 what we do that, we try to set up a private cloud. Okay, so how do we set up private cloud? Then after that how do we create the virtual machines, what we call like virtual workflows. Then access the virtual machines. Then later do some programming and see that how at least execute some kind of programming on the cloud. So at least something like what we say run something like a hello cloud world. Right? So something like hello world, what we write to understand any programming, So let's try to see that hello cloud or something. See that how it works on the cloud programming model, right? So later what we do that, once that private cloud is set up, so private cloud which for our purpose, and so once it is set up, then what we do that, we will go to the lab, then use these virtual machines from the lab to do the program. Is it okay? So this is with our agenda. So first is learn basics, learn the programming models, then set up a private cloud, create a virtual machines, right? So these virtual machines during hands-on session we will be accessing them to write a programming code. Is it okay? Clear everybody? This will be our agenda. Now what you can do is you can need not be that we will be going whatever is kept in this because there will be so many things here. So whenever you get some doubts you can stop me, interrupt, you can ask the questions. Is it okay? Right? So and don't think that if I ask question, what my friend will think. So just you will ask questions thinking that if I ask whether it is correct or not, they will laugh at me. Don't think. You are asking, so you should be proud enough to say that I asked a question. Okay. So and at the end I will conduct some small question session, and whoever answers well, I will do a small surprise gift for you. Let me see how much you can answer my questions. Okay? Right? So this will be my agenda for today's. Now we'll just try to see that what is cloud computing, which we call as evolutionary information technology, which is also called as the utility computing, right? So later we'll go for what is the need for the cloud computing. So until then there is some requirement, the technology will not evolve. Like for example, if we see like C++, Java, after Java again there are some other languages which are coming up, and parallel to that also there are some more programming language like C# also coming up. So there is a requirement. Right? So if there is no requirement, why C++ has come? If the C itself can able to solve the purpose. It's not like that, right? So that means there is a requirement, that's why new technologies are always evolving. So we should try to see what is that need and also see that how these technologies will meet those requirements. Right? So this is what our new technology will go. We'll try to see the applications for that. Now let's see, we'll understand the differences. So probably the cloud when we go, obviously those who are learning these technologies knows there are so many questions. Probably you may not have, probably the faculties may have the questions because they know about other technologies also. So when you teach any subject, which is very new, it's very easy to understand. But when they try to correlate with other technologies, they try to say, what is the difference between them? We always try to see. So when you see the differences between the other technologies, then always you have so many questions in the mind, right? So we try to do that, we try to understand how does the cloud computing differs from the existing technologies. It could be web technology, it could be internet computing, or previous to that there are some other technologies that we try to see how does it differ. So and how to use these technologies, clouds, right? So then we also try to see the types of clouds. So we have 3 different types of clouds, like a private, public and hybrids. So hybrid clouds and public clouds, that could be, we'll try to see how we access them. But if I want to use my own type of setup, so how do I do that? So that's what is a private cloud that will set it up today for our practical sessions. Now next is, coming to that, we have one more technology which is called as infrastructure virtualization. So for you to understand infrastructure virtualization, so we can take up something like operating system, everybody knows? What's an operating system? Yeah, it's something like, it's a bit like an interface between the user and hardware. It's like a manager which manages basically the different types of users working on the hardware systems. And also gives you an interface for a hardware systems for you as a user, right? So like this manages, there is one operating system which is called for a cloud is the infrastructure virtualization, which is called hypervisors, right? So the hypervisors is the one which is called the infrastructure virtualization, which is meant to create a cloud operating system. Like what you have the Windows, what we have the Linux, and what kind of flavors we have. So we can treat like hypervisors are basically the cloud operating systems, right? So we'll try to understand those cloud operating systems in this infrastructure virtualization. Now once we have this, we also should be able to understand the different types of the technologies of the clouds, or different types of the offerings of the clouds, right? So like you see there are some public cloud offerings which probably you need not to set up. Like for example, I don't have some kind of a resources, I don't have a money, I don't have any kind of thing, but I just want to use, and after that I just want to have a feel of it, then after that, okay fine, I don't want to use after that, right? So those kind of things are available for the public clouds. If I want to set up my own thing, which are the private cloud, so if I want to do it, how do I do it? Right? So this is what we'll try to see when we come to the public cloud. And we have some slides which actually takes you how do you get an access to the cloud from the internet, right? So that's what we try to see in the public clouds. Now the next one is, this is where we try to see now for today's hands-on session. If I want to build my own cloud, how do I do it? So to build it, what we need a cloud operating system. So we pick up the cloud operating system and put that cloud operating system in the hardware. So we arrange the system, which is one i5 system, which is Dell. So because that system, we use one system only. Similar to that, you can put n number of systems and make it like a complete cloud setup, right? But as a hands-on session understanding, we'll put one system, make that as a cloud, and we'll go to the lab, connect that system, and you do the programming part. Okay? So that's what we'll be doing with the building our own private cloud. Later, any resources to access, we need what? Programming models. Right? So like what we have, the C language, Java language, C++, or object-oriented language, the databases, the different kinds of languages which are there, but the clouds which are coming up, these languages are not just enough. Right? Fine? So we need a different set of programming models. The different set of programming models which we will be using for a clouds are the high performance model. Everybody knows about the threads. What is a thread? Small, lightweight process, right? So where that all, if you see the threads, so it's like a process is going into multiple units, and all of them will share the same process ID, but each of them will execute into their own thing, but they have a shared variables which can be used among them. That is a lightweight process we call. So it's similar to that. When you come for a cloud, there's a high performance model which uses the threads, right? But the threads, when you see, normally the threads execute where in the local system, but when coming to the cloud, you need to have resources coming from different geographical distributed systems. Not from a single system, but it has to come from multiple systems, right? So you need to have the threads which are executing on different systems. They not be on the same, but they are on the different locations itself, right? So in that case, how do we do it? How do we get an access to them? That will be done something called the high performance models, right? So this is a new model which we need to learn. To learn the cloud programming, so we need to have some high performance model which will give you to execute more number of instructions in less time. Is it right? That's what high performance talks about. So we need more performance. The next one is the high throughput. So high throughput is the difference between performance and throughput is performance will talk about it reducing the instruction time for a single instruction, the time for a single instruction. When you go for a throughput, it talks about reducing the time for multiple instructions or multiple jobs, right? So when you talk about a single, you talk about the performance. When you talk about a group, you talk about the high throughput. So that is where the difference comes for a high throughput. Now next is there is another one which nowadays is coming up, something called as the map reduce models, right? Heard about map reduce? Or it's also big data. People are talking about big data, no? What about big data? So the big data what it talks about, there is a large data which needs to be analyzed. So to analyze this large data, we need lot of computing resources, and these computing resources need to be exploited. So you need another programming languages for this, which are called as the data intensive. Right? The data intensive models are called as the big data, which is called as a map reduce models. Right? So these are the new programming models which are being evolving. So these evolving programming languages, we should be able to learn them and incorporate in our things and see that we could do some kind of interesting projects when we go for our final year things. Is it okay? So that's what we should keep it able to learn all this programming model and see some projects pick up which could be useful for you when you go for the industry. Right? So that's what we should get ready for yourself to make it ready for the industry. Now next is any technology to come into the market, until unless we have few case studies. What is a case study? It talks about the applications. So until we have a feel of a case study, we cannot make how this technology can be useful for you. Right? So to understand it, we are trying to see what are the different kinds of case studies here. So I will provide you some kind of a case study which is for high performance thing. I will also talk about one case study for mobile applications, and also we'll see that another application which can be general purpose application. Right? So these three things we'll see: scientific study, mobile applications, and some general purpose applications. Right? So these things we'll study for coming to the case studies. And pick up those case studies and take your problem, map it to those case studies and try to do it in the technology which are being developing. Okay? Right. So this is what we would like to see. Then later we'll go for some example program. Then I'll give you some summary and references which will be useful for you to go for your projects. Right? So this is what we have agenda today. Now later in the afternoon session we have once we have a private cloud setup today here itself, these systems will move into the lab and use those systems for a hands-on session. So this we will be doing it in the afternoon session. Is it okay? Another thing? Another thing? Outside the states, nearby to Odisha, nearby to India, Vijayawada center was the problem with that. So last time when I went to somewhere in the Raja, that side, there are people from Odisha. They said, sir, I don't know Telugu. No, Vijayawada doesn't have a problem. All are from Andhra. Okay? Another Telugu is there? After Telugu, after Telugu. Maybe for sometimes it comes up. Now this will be our agenda, so we'll go to London. Is it okay? Right? Any questions? No questions. Now let's see that what do we call the cloud computing as the revolution in IT. So whenever we go for learning technologies, IT technologies, we always try to see the predictions, how these technologies are evolving, right? So the Gartner is basically a company which is worldwide company which does the technology predictions. So it takes some statistics and it estimates and see that the technologies are all evolving. And in the evolving, those are recently coming up, were already there and overall high and overall stabilized. And overall coming to productive, right? So there are some hypes. Hype is what? So chala maatladestharu vaati gurinchi. But untundalane teliyadu. It's a hype created, right? So during this hype also there are some technologies which will get stabilized. So they come into the productivity. So this is what the graph talks about. So when we see here the Gartner, the 2004 predictions we see, the most of the time which you see the graph talks about the clouds, right? Did you see here there is something which I mentioned here. What is this? It's a keyboard. So in the keyboard if you see, right now in the keyboard, you have some keys, no? So it predicted that maybe end of this year. So on a keyboard you will see one symbol, maybe one key with a cloud. So you press that cloud button, then what it happens? Your system will get connected to the cloud. That's what it says. It is becoming as an integral part of IT. That's how the technology is moving. That means you get a key which will be there, which you connect, and you will be connected to the cloud, which you will register for. Which will automatically come to know where you are registered, and those resources will be given to you on your display. Right? That's how the things are. That's how the predictions was done. And later there are some other things like the CRM, which is called the customer relationship management, which is CRM applications. So they're also moving to the clouds. Like I don't know how many people have heard of something like a SAP. SAP, SAP SAP. What is SAP? Not SAP. SAP, SAP. SAP is basically a CRM application where the industries will use for some putting that, especially for what do you call it, maintaining the transactions between the customers and the industries. Right? That's basically that SAP application is a CRM application. So we see that the SAP application, which is called as a CRM-based SAP applications, SAP application for CRM, most of them are designed local. Right? Now the thing is, those applications will be going to the cloud. That means no development will happen on the local system, but all these development will happen on the remote systems. Right? And also the applications and the databases and the connectivity, all the things will come from the remote. That's what the CRM goes. That means all the applications are going to the clouds. Now the next one is obviously the clouds and services security, which is becoming as a major thing, major problem. The next is all the things that you see, the software as a service. So you use the services and pay for the services that we consume. Right? That's what all the predictions done for the Gartner 2014 predictions. Now, why we need to learn the technologies? So whenever we, as a students, or as a technology we see, we always try to see that, sir, but is it necessary to learn the technology first of all? Does it got any growth? Right? So the predictions was done by 2015. This technology is going to create 13.8 million jobs worldwide. 13.8. So when you go for this, so that means we should be ready to grab these jobs. Somehow. That means we should learn the technology which will give you a scope for us to put it into the latest state of the art technologies. Right? So this is what we try to see this. Now this is 2011 to 2015. Now the next thing is, when you see this is what the hypercycling. It was 2012, but every year, every 6 months they release the predictions. So it was 2012 and 2012 you see there is the cloud computing is here. So this thing indicates is like a high. Now later, once it comes here, the slope of enlargement, that means people started realizing that, and later it comes to the productivity. Productivity means what? It comes into the industry producers, right? And there are some technologies when they are here, they may get vanished. They may not come to this production, right? So where is the cloud now? This is here. Is there big data? Big data also here. This also high in 2012. Both are there. This is the big data, this is for the cloud computing. Now let's come to 2013, which was July. Now it's come to 2014. Now this month it will come. Now if you see here, where is the big data? In 2013 we talk about big data still was on high. Server. Now the cloud, when you see, where is the cloud computing? Is here. That means most of the 2013 not is being realized. That means people started realizing it. So after that what happens? It comes to the production, right? So now this is what is happening. When you see the same thing in the probably 2014, which will be released this month end. So probably the cloud can be here because this will come to the production. Now where the big data will come? Big data where the cloud is there. Now the big data will occupy that. Because big data is also getting realized. And whenever we talk about the big data has come into the picture, or big data has come into the reality because the background is the cloud. So that's what it said that big data is one of the applications or one of the technologies which evolved from the cloud computing technologies. Right? So that's why these two things are closely interrelated. Now let's go to the cloud. What is cloud? Let's understand. Whenever we talk about a cloud, we always think that cloud means why this is given the name as a cloud. Somebody was asking, there is one place called Krishnavanta. So, person Ravi Kumar is Madras asking me because it's like a Krishna river. There is something Lanka is something like associated something, right? Krishna Lanka. Krishna river is there. So like this, whenever we say they will try to say, sir, is there any relation? So cloud computing people think, oh what, there is something relation to clouds? Cloud formation, no? There is what is the relation? Right? So this is what we have in mind. So now if you see that, what generally what people is, the cloud when you see, it actually said like this. How do you represent internet? How the internet is represented? Like this symbol. And how does it look like? Cloud computing means what? It's basically an internet-based. So that's why people know whenever we say cloud, they think, oh, it's a new technology which is came recently, no? Very recent, I mean, as of it came as it is, no, something like a mushroom growing. Mushroom, old if you see, no, it grows like its own, right? So right in the water it will grow on Mars. So like this, because cloud computing has come, no, by night, overnight itself, nothing. But to grow, it has taken so many years. Right? Let's see that how it is done. Right? What is the cloud basically is? It's a transformation of the internet. The transformation of an internet into a usable model is called as the cloud computing. Is it right? Now we see there the predictions, even the two uses of the cloud to come into this picture. Basically, this was started in 1966 itself. It's not a rule. Only thing is now it came to a thing because the technologies have grown. 1960s to 2014, how many years? 2010, something like 50 years. Right? Is it right? 50 years. So 1961, everybody knows about this ARPANET project. ARPANET is called as Mother of Networks. Right? So those who are the designers of the ARPANET project and we consider to be John McAfee, he is the computing artificial intelligence and modern